Alright, in this video we're going to be talking about Jay Alvarrez and Alexis. Now, first off, how did they get famous and how did they make their money? Supposedly it's through Instagram, but some of the things that they're showing in their videos and photos, it makes it seem like they can afford to spend thousands of dollars every day, tens of thousands, just flying to exotic locations and all this stuff, which is incredibly bizarre because even the top Instagram people, I don't think that they can blow it that much. So I find it incredibly bizarre. Perhaps they just make that much, I don't know. But it's very interesting because that question is never really answered. How do they make their money? Is it through Instagram? Is it through something else? Apparently they're very good at what they do. One's a model, one's a photographer and videographer, and they can display that. But what exactly do they do? Is it really through Instagram? Because here's the other thing, they rarely post on there, at least not that often compared to other people who post every day. And I'm telling you, there are other models out there who literally do a sponsored post like every single day, and sometimes 3 or 4, 5 or 6 product placements in a week, constantly, week in, week out, and they have 2 million followers. One example is Sarah Jean Underwood. And then the question is, how exactly do they do what they do, having almost close to no sponsored posts or anything, and very few of any posts that matter? I mean, they'll post maybe once a week, sometimes less than that. So there is a huge question. Maybe they post it and delete it, but let's just assume that they did what they did, and that's how they made their money. The next question is, what should you aspire to? Here's the huge issue, and I think the big point of this video. I'm not claiming that these guys are doing it purposefully. I don't know, but this is what society and I think the economy has kind of been doing for the last 10 or 20 years. Not everyone, but especially with social media, a lot of people are doing it, and they don't realize that you don't have to, or they just feel like this is the best route, or they're just naturally doing it and not realizing the negative consequences. So essentially what they do is they will post incredibly very unrealistic videos and photos, and of course you'll see them in tropical locations, flying around, all these materialistic things. And guess what it does? It spurs you to feel all sorts of things that are very unhealthy for you, very unhealthy for your happiness, well-being, and all these things. This has been proven with psychology. Trust me, I've read a few books on this, including The Happiness Advantage. The point though is, what they do is that by doing this, it causes people to share it, wish to have this, sometimes follow you, buy your stuff, which spreads more of this cycle, spreads it even further, and paints the false assumption that you can't be happier, or you will be happier with these items. And big businesses are very guilty of this. They will do this so that you buy their clothing, even though they know that you don't need this clothing and it really won't make you happier. Unfortunately, it occurs, and they populate it to make more money, and the cycle continues, ultimately to a point where, and this happens like almost every week, you can look it up in the news, where average people have very distorted perceptions of what will make them happy, and they think more materialistic things and so forth will make them happy. And I've compiled numerous videos citing that this is clearly not the case, and I've shown this with a lot of video footage and all sorts of other stuff. And unfortunately what occurs is people don't watch that, people don't read that because it's not viral, and ultimately it continues compounding, and ultimately what ends up happening is people get just very unhappy, or they have unrealistic goals that will really not fulfill them. and every year there's celebrities and very wealthy individuals who have fallen for this delusion, and they finally make it, but they realize, this didn't really change much. It didn't really make me happier or anything. And unfortunately, it's one of those epidemic problems that's almost impossible to fix, because as of this point, like, no one really cares to listen to people about this, and society just blows it out of proportion. So what's the point of this video? The point is to tell you that as far as stuff like what they're doing, Alexis, Jay Alvarrez, I mean, it's cool to have that stuff, but remember what's actually occurring underneath all this. You know, there's a element of sharing this to get you to follow them, to spread the message, to get you to buy products, aspire to things that do not make you happier. So unfortunately, this is a huge fallacy that a lot of people fall for, and hopefully you can get fixed by it. If you stayed until this part in the video, I want to give you a free gift. I've compiled a video compilation of very up-to-date, very popular celebrities, some of them who have tens of millions of followers on Instagram and other platforms, who have come forth and pretty much said these things. They've pretty much told you guys that, hey, this is not what it's like. After being there, after achieving it, I'm very surprised how little has changed. And so keep that in mind. And also just keep in mind, maybe the stuff that they buy and put in their videos, it can easily be manufactured on social media to make it seem like your life is 1,000 times better than it actually is. For instance, you know, when they buy all this food and stuff, you can guarantee that they don't eat most of it. I mean, they're both trying to be very fit. I guarantee you they don't eat those whole pineapples or any of that stuff. A lot of pyramid schemes are built on this. They'll take out like $100,000 in cash, put it on the bed, and then they will pretend it's theirs. And then after the video, they will put it back into the bank. So keep those things in mind, and it's rather unfortunate that no one ever finds out about this. So if you're interested, share the message. Otherwise, check out the video I just mentioned, the free gift. If you click the link in the description below this video, you'll be taken straight to that video I mentioned. So keep those things in mind, and of course, just remember, shield yourself. Spend less time on this thing, and tell your friends, because this is something that most people don't know about, and most people don't know about. I said that twice.